This is David Bruce Leonard from Earth Medicine Academy, and I am here with my friend, colleague, mentor, and co-conspirator, Ed Bell. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you, David. Thank you,
Ed
David.
has been doing awesome work. Well, in my life for 10 years, he's been doing awesome work. But Ed has been facilitating shadow integration work with me and others here on Maui for more than 10 years. And he is currently teaching a class on the light in the, called The Light in the Shadow on Earth Medicine Academy. It's a 6-week course coming up. So Ed, what is shadow?
It's a confusing thing for a lot of people. So I want to define it this way. Shadow, if you replace the word shadow with the word energy. In Jungian psychology, shadow is anything that we repress, deny, push down into our subconscious or unconscious that we're not aware of, that has an impact on our lives. I just changed the word shadow to energy. What is those hidden energies that are outside of our awareness that impact our lives, our relationships, our health, our financial well-being? It's almost as if the shadow or this energy is the puppeteer and I am its puppet under its control. It has enormous control over me and our relationships and the world in ways that we've never known before.
Ed, what is shadow integration work, and how is it different than other things that have the word shadow in them?
Shadow is kind of a buzzword in a lot of the communities right now. And I guess for about 30 years, I've been investigating, interested in shadow, going through Jungian analysis, but I've always been hungry to make shadow work practical and usable in my life rather than it being a mind construct. So shadow integration is about looking at the shadows that run our lives and working with them in a way that is useful and practical. A lot of the shadows that most people think of shadow work, they think of the dark stuff, where Carl Jung even believed, I believe, that 80 to 90% of our shadows are gold, or what makes us magnificent.
So, and everybody has shadow? Is that an accurate statement?
Everyone has shadow. Remembering that 80 to 90% of it is pure gold.
Right, potential.
The hard part is we have to go through the dark stuff sometimes to get and mine the gold that's within us that becomes useful, what our talents are, what I call our unopened birthday presents that are under our proverbial birthday tree waiting to be unopened. Shadow integration is about finding them, opening those presents and integrating in our lives.
Awesome, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between what the other types of shadow work, whatever that is that's being done, and shadow integration work? Because you said your work is different. Would you describe that again? How that?
Yeah. The work I'm doing that I've discovered through my own experimenting on me mostly, but experimenting with some very brave clients of mine over the years, is that I want to move shadow out of the world of the mind construct of a belief system and into the body, where I can work with it as energy in the body, as a felt sense. It's a very somatic experience of doing shadow integration work rather than a mind construct.
Right, so it's not just confessing our sins to others. It's about feeling the energy in our bodies.
Yeah. If I ask most people what your shadow is, most of them say, well, I believe I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy. And that's I can't do anything with that. Can't do anything with a thought. I can do something with the body.
Excellent.
And that's where the shadow lives. It's in the body.
And how did you come up with these tools and processes that you use? How did you come up with them?
Well, part of it is I've had some amazing, great teachers of shadow work in the past, multiple teachers, but never did anything stick like doing shadow integration work.
Huh.
And part of my, and I've learned more about shadow and shadow integration in the last 3 years than probably the previous rest of my life. When I finally found the somatic experience of shadow or energy, then I was able to integrate those energies in a way that works for me. And what I found was, it didn't, I got to understand me on a deeper level and what's working and what's not working. As a result of doing so much of my work, usually by myself, because I don't think anyone else is doing it as I'm doing it. Although I just found recently a teacher who is doing it, is that what gets born is more of my own innate true self, my inner essence that has never been there before. I could wake up with an inner smile that is not part of my personality, but it's someplace deeper.
Interesting. Yeah, it's more indigenous or whatever. It's deeper. It's more rooted.
More rooted. It's an innate gift that was there that I had to push down long time ago.
It sounds like it's more genuine too. It's not so much of a social construct as a recognition of what's already there.
I think it's a rediscovery of who I was meant to be all along, that got pushed down because of culture or family or wounding or whatever. A lot of those gifts had to be hidden. They weren't accepted. Now I can bring them back, open up those little birthday presents and enjoy the fruits of it.
That sounds great. What other benefits are people going to get from doing shadow integration work, or what benefits have you gotten? You said you talked about finding a deeper sense of self that has an innate happiness. Anything else?
What, I hesitate saying this right now, but we live in such a narcissistic culture that what am I going to get out of it? Therapy is about me. It's growing the me, the I. And what I'm getting out of it is the importance of using these gifts in service to the everything and to others. So when I go through the farmer's market on Saturday morning, or when I'm with my clients, or when I'm with you or with friends, there is so much more kindness in my expression of who I am than ever before. And it is absolutely genuine.
Yeah.
So others receive the benefit. It's just not me using this for me.
Right. So would you say more compassion, clarity?
So much more compassion, so much more innate wisdom is just coming through. Yeah. And so shadow integration work is not just it's not just a process that you go through that you might have been in your therapist office.
Right.
But shadow integration work now becomes a daily meditation of integrating material that it is churned up from my subconscious, unconscious, and bringing it up to where it's useful for me.
It sounds like it's a way of life.
It's a way of life. It's a meditation. I teach the shadow integration meditation. SIM is part of what my students are learning how to do it for themselves.
Fantastic. And what happens in your classes? What do you do in the class? Like, what would the class structure look like?
We usually have an opening, and I'll have a basic lesson that I'll teach during the class. And then there's usually a practice. Well, it might be in breakout rooms or something where folks are working with each other, or I might guide the whole group through a shadow integration meditation process. And then ultimately what I want is students to know how to do this for themselves, but I'm also teaching them how to do shadow integration work with each other. So each week, they're assigned to work with one or more people throughout the week to learn the process. They see it, they do it, and they teach it.
So you're actually teaching people how to do this work, how to teach others this work, or how to
Exactly.
facilitate others. Wow. And
From
what,
the first week on.
that's awesome. And what kind of people would want to take the class? Like what, let me rephrase that. Who would your ideal, I don't want to say student, who would your ideal co-facilitators be?
Most of the people who take my classes now are professionals or semi-professionals or are lay people already doing some work in groups. So
Uh-huh.
they're learning how to do group work with their lay group. I've been involved in the Mankind Project for almost 30 years. So
Right.
these men are learning how to do this in their men's group. Women are learning how to do it in their women's group. And we're doing it in co-ed groups. I ultimately, this is my legacy. I want to pass this wisdom and knowledge and skill base on. That's hugely important to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you know, obviously, I have an immense amount of admiration for you, and I've known you for more than 10 years, and I'm really, yeah, you're one of the finest human beings that I know. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with us.
Yeah, thanks.